Hello and welcome. I'd like to do a whatever wants to come out reading for you all. Thank you for joining. My name's Dina. Special thank you if you're new here for checking out the content. I hope you find something that you enjoy, something that resonates. And for those that are returning, I certainly appreciate you. Discernment and heat coming out. Either something's got you highly riled up with some type of anger, passion, fear, longing energy. To me, it almost looks like longing because look at her. It's almost like, do you love me? Do you love me not? Or he loves me not, with the petals there in the eyeball in the center of the heart. Maybe you're feeling some distance or dissatisfaction in love, and this individual seems to be really feeling passionate and heated up, needing a cold shower perhaps. So, and I also noticed that when I was pre-shuffling at the bottom, was it this deck? It must have been, because that's the card. At the pre-shuffle, I have the Eros card here, the gemstone diamond between the teeth and lips of what appears to be a feminine. And if you didn't know, Eros is Cupid and is said to represent the primal vitality of the sexual or passionate urge, the awakening of passion, and calling it forth. Then we have influence. Maybe somebody is being influenced either by a need to caretake or self-heal or parent, take care of a pet project or pet rehabilitation, healing energy. Someone's caretaking, perhaps. Let's see what wants to come out here. And if we don't have anything pop out, there we go. I like hearing nature in the background. I hope you enjoy. It's gorgeous when spring awakens here. The popping card is Unity. It's very beautiful. It's showing me that some of us here are on a path hoping to create and uplift unity consciousness on this earth, but that we're pleasing those guides, guardians, watcher energy that I almost want to say it's like octaves of the smallest things and entities and beings are then nested within the higher and higher consciousness levels. That's where we get third dimensional all the way upwards in the higher realms. It's a release of density. I almost said destiny. A release of density allows the consciousness and the less material realms to speak. There's something about that. Look at this. This is my mother and child card. Productivity. And it looks as though the child is hiding underneath the cloak and the arm of the mother, and she's suspicious and on guard. Doesn't it appear that way in her face? So, and it's a flower, but it almost seems like she's like, what's this new flower? Is it friend or foe? Is it something that can be ingested, or is it poison, medicinal? What's its purpose? I wonder what that will come to talk about here. We'll wait for the cards to show themselves. Okay. Revision. I see this as a mental and emotional healing Saheke sign. So somebody may be that healing, that need for healing. Oh, and have I ever noticed that before? Across the knees of this individual, there's a dragon being. So I don't know if this is some new endeavor being birthed this year in the year of the dragon, or if you were born under year of the dragon, um, which would be 12 years before this and so on, 12-year cycles. There's something here about protecting and embracing and nurturing something smaller through its growth and formation process. And it may be a child in your circumstance or a healing endeavor, but take it as you will. Connection. It's very emotional space being shown up with the water energy, but someone who's vitally connected to all levels of mentorship from the above, so to speak. Perhaps you're a medium, a channel, a psychic, a prophet. Clarity. Taking time to listen and really hear the messages that are coming through for your transformation will help you be more efficient in understanding and comprehending and sharing that message forward. It's like she brings it up from her depths and from her crown, and then there's this fire in her hands, this little fiery gem, this little nugget of truth in motion. It looks like just the sheer act of putting this endeavor into motion, or engaging in this caretaking or nurturing of some type of endeavor, circumstance, or the healing of another is very challenging for you, and it's creating your own healing, your own acknowledgement of how you feed into situations for better or for worse, and making decisions about your healing potential here. I think that's enough from this deck. So productivity. For some of you, you may have to often through single parent type things or sole entrepreneur, solo, something comes down onto your shoulders and there's a need to be productive in this situation. So it's like showing the feminine line here being productive. So maybe you come from a line of strong, independent women, and predominantly the viewers will be feminine, but since this is a general reading, take this as you will. But this revision in motion, it's like we've had to take a step back from something in the past and let it gestate, let ourselves immerse in a healing process, or some parenting or some endeavor that took a lot of time and space and energy. This new approach, though, is like a detox process. Like the ascension symptoms, as the consciousness rises and we connect more deeply above and below for the greater clarity and efficiency of our process and our ability to be that conduit of healing, light, and unity consciousness on this earth, these motions and behaviors and ideas come through and shake loose any residues or belief patterning that needs to be clarified so that we can be the best that we can be going forward. But we had something about the sacred sexuality here. I wanted to use this shamanic deck. This is a blended deck. So let's see what wants to come out here. Sorry for shaking the camera. I hope you guys can deal. Wailing Tree, reconciliations with lost in space, needing direction, Sky Bridge, possibility for union, and Sky Dancer's surrender. So yeah, you got lost in a process, a redirection. This Wailing Tree to me looks like generational healing, because it appears to be this tree of life with the ancestral core wounding in it. So you'll see different families perpetuating the same type of a lesson, even though it looks very different. Like, I don't want to make anybody feel implicated. It doesn't necessarily have to be your story, but some people you'll see that the parents, it will be a career path that then their whole family tends to really go and get the education and get the resources and do all of the elbow rubbing and the group associations. They raise their children to be socially um, diverse and to utilize that as their methodology for success. And then you'll see other individuals who um, perhaps through no character deficit in the least had children at a younger age, and I've sometimes witnessed that that will sometimes be something that carries forward, or somebody who has children later in life, their children following in their footsteps. Now you can also see the contrary evidence of people who do the complete opposite thing than their parents. You know, people that have a super messy or a super tidy parent will sometimes rebel against that by creating the oppositional energy. But there's something that's working through your family dynamic that is you're identifying with in some level, whether it's hope and pain for others' perceived inability to get with the program, or through your somewhat inability to gain proper respect for going your own direction and being taken seriously for your explorations and the knowledge and wisdom that it brings to your path. Splitting it, we get the Earth Keeper. So that Earth Keeper is very good energy to have with that unity consciousness. You're being upheld and supported through this process, I want to say. So let's just take getting some company. Don't mind any noise that you may hear. Dragon's Horde, protecting the future. I'm super excited because of that dragon energy that came out on that revision energy. It's saying that this year in particular is a huge year to revise the energies from that previous, potentially that previous restart. Oh, and I'm also wanting to show you one other thing. So I often see with this clarity card, you see that sacral amethyst geode there at the sacral level. It's like the gems of our emotional psychic past and our upbringing. Maybe you shut down some of your psychic connection and connectivity in light of the demands of the situation, or early parentage or something like this, right? Or your parent had to, and this influenced their ability to honor your opportunities to do something they didn't have the opportunity to do. But this dragon energy is coming in to curl around and protect this geode energy that as it's kind of giving way, and see how that dragon coiled around is similar to the angelic coiling around. There is a huge amount of protection for you this year, and it might feel difficult at first. You might feel defensive and protecting the future, but something that you are being asked to step up to do in this situation is to advocate for your process and what's right for you, and to protect your own becoming process, to be willing and able to gently choose yourself in a situation, to caretake for your own highest destiny, because all kinds of different individuals that will come and go in our life may present themselves as being uncomfortable with us surpassing them, or being seen as rejecting them or leaving them or having something more than what they have. And we cannot hold ourselves back any longer. There's been a divine restriction, but it's only so that we could encounter and revise our own inner dragon resonance here. gain our own clarity for what we had to allow to wash away, reformulate our plan. But there's something being fostered or nurtured into fruition. So yeah, we've got that beautiful baby dragon, and I almost said this in the daily dharma today because the word baby came through and dreams came through. Whether or not I said dreams, I'm not sure, but last night, this morning in my dreams, there were several different babies, and they weren't necessarily my babies. One had different medical leads and lines, and so my deepest, sincerest, heartfelt support to your process. If that's a triggering idea for you, you may have been some type of preemie energy or someone else. This may deeply trigger something that you've wanted for some time, but there's some type of revising the plan, maybe reducing stress, increasing health, and healing. I once upon a time did have a client come to me for healing because of a miscarriage, and this is coming into my mind here, I think, for a reason. The amethyst geode, that clarity at the sacral, is also the womb level, and our ability to bring any type of ideology, context, project, or idea into fruition, or a literal child, is very similar energy. But with this dragon energy, it very well could be something that's coming into fruition this year with the support of both your healing process, your ability to protect your future and to be more productive. So protecting from yourself also, and from self-sabotage or negative belief, or redirecting your energy towards other individuals who would kind of almost misdirect and steal your time on some level from your path. It's only another opportunity. It's another choice that we have the opportunity to continue to spiral into the demands of the external, or we can use that for creative ideas about how to re-envision our time, how to carve out time for our own healing, carve out self development time, carve out time for any type of endeavor that's meaningful to you. Your brainchild, your ideas, your healing capacity is being supported, and you're being asked to believe in yourself and to take the most efficient route, whatever that means for you. Winter's dream gestation period, right, to bring it to fruition. Yeah, and it's just like right now is this beautiful early spring, and here in my climate, we don't fool ourselves that that doesn't mean it couldn't snow in the next 48 hours at any given time. It's a weird climate, but in our own lives, it seems that we've been restricted, held back for healing, and that this has great potential to offer us the proper revision of our energy and our approach. And so the timing is now further on our side because we took time to develop something. The curse, to overcome some type of healing or feeling that we couldn't do it. This may be an early experience of disregard or disrespect. It may be physical abuse or verbal abuse, taking the words out of our mouth and redirecting us to some type of the needs of the family, or the right and wrong thing to do. Maybe it's a religious thing for some, where going off into spirituality seems quite triggering to those that have differing views. We'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean. So the curse here is like she's almost tattooed with the impact of these projected intentions of others, and it's like, how do we wash that away? It's like by creating new momentum in our life. It's difficult at first to cross that finish line, but you can kind of see how she's taking a rest here too. It's like on the right side of my board here, I've got revision and motion here, to me showing the healing process, the reawakening process, reawakening to how it's going to come to be. There's some type of eureka moment, like, oh yeah, that is what I can do right there. So Earth Keeper. So it seems revision of the way that we have used our capacity, our divine energy in the past. Like Eros can often be that sexual energy, objectified energy, and it confuses and contorts and misrepresents the energy that comes up in our own soul, where if left untainted, we would have perhaps patience. I meant passion. But in this circumstance, there's like this heating up process. There's a discomfort, and the passion. Oh, the heat card. Oh my gosh. Okay, do you remember that heat card from the beginning? The backside of the angel wings? So somebody's turning up the heat on us, but you're seeing that angel also wrapping and embracing the earthly endeavors that we are encountering right now. It's like there's this divine alignment where it might seem tense, but in this process, we're reconnecting with our inner core, our own inner unity and alignment. And with this realignment and centering and grounding process that we're going through, and this shedding of expectations and all of that business, we're being transformed and rebirthed by fire like the phoenix. I've got the stone here. I'm going to bring this around. So the stone represents many things. I know that it can talk about the slowness of transformation, such as in the generational legacy and those ancestral karmic roots that many of us are here dancing on the karma of our ancestors, and dancing on the roots of our own upbringing and really creating meaning out of it. But sometimes it seems like when triggered that we haven't come so far at all, but that's also part of the evidence that we are. It's always changing, ebbing and flowing. And I keep hearing the blood out of a turnip, getting blood out of a turnip. It's like engaging in something that's a dead end, or trying, like for instance, when I first tried to get out my messages, I kept speaking to my haters or my judges instead of speaking to the channel. And so I kept saying, well, I don't mean this and that. And I still do this, right? I dismiss before I entreat, whatever that means. And so it's like this stone. It's almost like the philosopher's stone, the sorcerer's stone, that immortality, the string of that string from the divinity that's speaking through us and to us. It's like, and the stone also, that clarity with the amethyst geode, and protecting our hoard for the future has that stone. It's like a stone in the gut. What does that mean? I mean, I don't know if medically somebody needs to deal with some stones in their system, some type of breaking down of stones. And I may I don't know this, but there may be some type of a correlation between stress, diet, health, and the salts and the minerals that are being taken in and not flushed out. It's like calcifying certain elements within ourselves, and some type of cleanse and detox energy on whatever level feels right to you may be in order. Again, I'm no doctor, I'm no medical professional. Please do not mistake me. You'll have to consult with your own professionals. I have to say those things. But there's something about the the seat of our intuition is interconnected with both the divine and with the accumulated experience. And as we engage with that mental and emotional healing here, it will help us to revise our life and to engage in that motion. And sometimes it's like people are like so overwhelmed by the demands of their healing and their success and overcoming and stretching themselves in ways that they are so uncomfortable by doing, and not feeling the support and all of these factors that it's necessary to take your time and to rest. But also, it comes down to, how do you eat the elephant? Well, one bite at a time, over the course of time, divine time. And if we have the faulty expectation that it's got to be now, then we won't be able to enjoy the journey. We'll be working and efforting instead of enjoying it. And part of our message is to enjoy the heat, to enjoy the spotlight, and being front and center on stage, where then um, there's something about moving your body and being able to allow things to pass through your hands so that new information and resources can come in. So I think we'll leave the basic messages there. And yeah, I thought we were going to get a relationship reading. That may be a relationship reading for some of you, creating more unity in the situation, requiring mental emotional healing of our ancestral line. The Lotus Throne and the Dance Unveiling, number 36 and 37 in the Kuan Yin deck. Card number 36 talks about how the path only reveals itself to us one piece at a time, one bite at a time. We're not meant to quantum leap every step of the journey. That would be super exhausting, and it would be so maddening to our nervous system that it would be near impossible to really appreciate the journey and to glean the full process. So things are coming into fruition. You might not know now how it's going to be coming down for you, but this dragon energy is blending and merging with your own higher wisdom, and it's speaking through us all this year to set things in motion, to protect and nurture the consciousness of the world. This is a consciousness or enlightenment event that's coming through this year in small bits and pieces. We might not see it now, but in retrospect, if we document or journal out the things that we see in our everyday life, we'll be able to see this profound distance and that we'll be able to traverse and journey this entire year. And we are going to be seeing the evidence of our mastery, of our authority, of our accomplishment here. It's like the Lotus Throne is all about ascending your true destiny and calling with the self-belief in that if it's meant for me, it cannot elude me forever. If it's meant for me, it's waiting for me on the other side of this transformation, right? And it is. So All right, let's give you, with these extra couple minutes, because I have these extra couple of decks, sorry, noise. Shouldn't have done that. Number 12 on the bottom of the deck, colors blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavors numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. So yes, trusting the calling, trusting that if you're here for this, that small, don't feel like you're not going to get there, and play small and become fearful and depressed. Just small little motions, however small, will create profound healing beneath the surface. Number 65, the ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being rich or clever. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all the people the way back to their own true nature. There was something I thought of that I didn't say earlier that had something to do with that. Being able to feel content with whatever's right for you. Like, for instance, your parents are all about that. Getting to social groups and playing your cards right and going to college and getting a haircut and a real job, but you have a different path and it's no less worthy. And when you are content with the path that you're walking, you won't get caught up as badly in the expectations that have plagued you in the past. And it's also about the disclarity showing us the way. Not knowing is the truth. Like, if somebody's like, well, you've got to make a plan, you can't just spontaneously do X, Y, and Z. It's like, well, you can't, but I spoke with my guides. What? Well, my process looks different than yours. I mean, because you look at for instance, the Carfax, or just because you have a vehicle checked out by a mechanic, doesn't mean that it's going to be 100%. Just because you check in with a psychic doesn't mean that I'm speaking that you're never going to have pain if you go in this certain direction. Sometimes we're led into painful circumstances in order to activate the outcome that we most desire. And it's the most efficient way to the path, but we wouldn't go if we knew. So the lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Brain freeze the universe. They chose you. To be beautiful in the eyes of another, simply forget they're watching. Tally ho, the universe. The great thing about feeling deep, profound, earth-shaking love is that you can start with anyone. Next.